So good afternoon, each one of you. In today's class, children, we are going to continue chapter number 9, the living organisms, characteristics and habitat. So in yesterday's class, we discussed about the misunderstood words of chapter number 9, like adaptation, habitat, biotic, abiotic components, terrestrial, aquatic animals. So all these words are now clear to you. And let's continue with the chapter. Yesterday we discussed that adaptation of camel and fish, how they are able to live only in fish is able to live in water, and how camel is able to live in the desert areas. So due to the adaptations and due to the body shape, uh, the different features of camel help it to live in the desert areas. Similarly, the features of fish helps it to live inside the water. So children, these are known as the adaptation. According to these adaptations, they live in a particular area. Now let's start with the next part of the chapter. Today we'll start from here, that is the terrestrial habitat, the plants and animals. I want each one of you to kindly underline this. The definition of terrestrial habitat. The plants and animal that live on land are known as terrestrial habitats. And few examples of terrestrial habitats are there, like forest, grasslands, deserts, coastal and mountainous mountain regions. Okay, so kindly underline the definition of terrestrial habitat. Next is the aquatic habitat. Already children, you have learned about the aquatic habitat. Let's come on the next page. Aquatic habitat. So let's read about the aquatic habitat. The plants and animals that live in water are called aquatic habitats. So kindly mark the definitions and examples of aquatic habitats are lakes, rivers, and oceans are few of the examples of aquatic habitat. Okay, and there are large variations among the terrestrial habitats like forest, grasslands, deserts, coastal and mountainous regions. So, and one more thing is there that you have to learn, that is about this paragraph, the blue box which is given over here. So that we will discuss later. So I think it's clear to you about the terrestrial and aquatic habitats, the definitions and examples. Next, very, very important thing is to learn about the biotic and abiotic components. So children, there may be a difference that mention the difference between a biotic and abiotic component. So I want each one of you to read the definition clearly. The organism, both plants and animals living in a habitat, are known as biotic components. All the living things, here we are considering either plants or either animals, both are living, that that comes under the heading of biotic components. And on the other hand, the non-living things such as rocks, soil, air, water, they are known as abiotic components. Even sunlight, heat, they are also known as a abiotic component. So children, you may frame one extra question over here. Differentiate between frame one extra question over here. Differentiate between biotic and abiotic components. Kindly frame one question. Differentiate between biotic and abiotic components. Kindly write down this. Differentiate between biotic and abiotic components. I hope each one of you have framed the extra question. And children, before starting with activity 2, let's read this paragraph. What's given in this paragraph? This is the extra one paragraph. Yes, Tanishq, start reading this paragraph.
Okay, ma'am. There are some changes.
But our voice is very less. Just take care of it.
Okay, ma'am. There are some changes that can happen in an organism over a short period of time to help them adjust some changes in their surroundings. For instance, if we live in the plains and suddenly go to the high mountain regions, we may experience difficulty in breathing and doing physical exercise for some
Okay,
days.
beta. Okay, okay, Tanishq. Ridhima, you can continue from here. We need to breathe.
Yes, ma'am. We need to breathe faster when we are on high mountain. After some days, our body adjusts to the changed condition on the high mountain. Such small change that take place in the body of a single organism over short period to overcome small problem due to changes in the surroundings are called
Accumulation, yes.
acclimatization. These changes are different from the adaptation that take place over thousands of years.
So children, it's very, very important definition. Kindly mark this definition. This definition will start from here. Small changes that takes place in the body of a single organism. We are talking about the changes that will take place in the body of a single organism over a short period to overcome small problems due to the changes in the surroundings. So that is known as accumulation. So children, you may underline this, or you may frame one extra question or the definition of this part. Okay, Harsh, kindly unmute. So children, next, let's continue with the next part of the chapter, the activity number 2. So
Yes,
here
ma'am.
already you have done the germination of a seed. Germination of seeds already you have done. That is a beginning. Germination means the beginning of a new plant, the life of a new plant. So Harsh, you can continue with activity number 2.
Okay, ma'am. Activity number 2. Recall activity 5 in chapter 1. We made sprouts from moong and chana seeds. When the seed turned into a sprout, it is said to have germinated. This is the beginning of the life of a new plant. Collect some dry moong seeds. Keep 20 to 30 seeds aside and soak the rest in water for a day. Divide the soaked seed into 4 equal parts. Keep one part completely submerged in water for 3-4 days. Do not disturb the dry seeds and those submerged in water. Keep one part of soaked seeds in a sunny room and another in a completely dark region, like a cupboard that does not allow any light to come in. Keep the last part in very cold surroundings, say in a refrigerator or with ice around them. Rinse them and replace the water every day. What do you notice? After a few days, do the seeds in all the 5 conditions germinate informally? Do you find
Uniformly.
slow?
So
Yes,
children,
ma'am.
okay. Now I think the activity is clear to you. We have taken few of the soaked seeds and we have kept in the different places. So now just realize that abiotic factors like air, water, light, heat are important for the growth of the plant. So kindly underline, for the germination of seeds, these all things are very, very important. Which 3 things? 4 things: air, water, light, and heat. These are known as abiotic components, which are non-living components, and these are very, very important. So now we have to find out that in which case the seeds germinate. So let's go for the next one. So what do you think? The seeds which are kept outside, or the seeds which are kept in the refrigerator, or the seeds which are kept in the almirah, that is in the dark room, which seeds are going to be germinate? Tell me about it. Okay, Bhuvi.
In the sun one.
Okay, according to you, the seeds kept in sun or which are kept outside, that seeds will be germinating. What about Tanishka? Is she right? Yes, Kanishka.
Yes.
So why it is so? Can you tell anyone? Kindly raise your hand. Why not the seeds kept in refrigerator will germinate? Why it is so? Yes,
Can I
Rayan
tell?
Azhar. Yes, Rayan Azhar.
Yes,
Or-
ma'am. Because that plant are made by nature and they does not have the speciality to live in the refrigerator because they needs natural sunlight.
Okay, very good. Yes, Harsh, what are you saying?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the plants need water and sunlight to make their food.
Okay.
So if we keep the plants in our home or in refrigerator, it will not able to grow because sun rays is important because to make a food.
Okay, very good. Yes, Bhuvi. And after that, Tanishk will give the answer.
Ma'am, it's important to be in sunlight because it is also written in the book that air, water, light, and heat are important. So, sun will give air, water, heat, and light, everything.
Okay, only then the germination will take place. Yes, Tanishk.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the seed that has been put in the sunlight, it will grow because,
But your voice is not audible, Tanishk.
ma'am, it is because that the seeds that is present in the refrigerator will not have the carbohydrate and the sunlight, so it is not possible.
Okay, the major reason is that when you will be keeping the germinated seeds outside, it will be getting all the sufficient things for the growth. Like sunlight is required for the growth of plant or to prepare their food. If the food will not be prepared, then the plant can't grow. So these all are the adaptations or the things required for the germination of the seeds. Next is the adaptation does not take place in a short time. Yes, Ritul Bhardwaj, read from this paragraph. Adaptation. Unmute.
Adaptation does not take place in a short time because the abiotic factors of a region also change very slowly. Those organisms which cannot adapt to these changes die, and only the adapted ones survive. Organisms adapt to different abiotic factors in different ways. This results in a wide variety of organisms in different habitats. Let us look at some habitats, understand the abiotic factors and the adaptation of animals in these habitats.
Okay, beta, thank you. So children, we have seen that adaptation does not take place in a short time. This you also know. It because the abiotic factors that changes very, very slowly. So adaptation, it takes much longer time for the things to be adapted. Means whenever we want to adjust, we have to take some time wherever we are going to. The rest part of the chapter, children will take tomorrow. That is the different habitats we'll study tomorrow.